I'm Mark Callie in Mr. Saltwater Tank, and this is Mr. Saltwater Tank TV. Of all the products to come into the saltwater tank world, I would have never thought that a frozen fish food would be the one that everyone's talking about. I was definitely wrong on this one, and today I'm here at LRS Foods to look at the food that's blowing up the saltwater tank world. Larry, for a long time, fish food was just, fish food, but you're absolutely killing it on social media. Every store I go into has this in the freezer. Why is this so popular?
Mark, the best I can determine is since we've started out with such high quality, fresh, human-grade seafood, it has an unmatched feeding response, cleanliness, and it simply just has fish eating it, and it gives you lower nutrients in the aquarium, and it just is incredibly popular. So when you combine the fresh deliveries of seafood that we get twice a week, add in your things such as the beta-carotene, the PE mysis, the krill, blackworms, other fresh ingredients, then we freeze it and then we ship it in a prompt period of time, it ends up getting to the end user very, very fast. And from the scientific standpoint, what we've been told is that the intact lipids and the proteins are fresher with those ingredients in the quick delivery to the end user, which results in a better quality product.
So it's almost short supply chain for fish food.
Correct.
Larry clearly has done his homework on fish food, and he's come a long way from his roots as a cop who happened to make fish food on his kitchen table. When I met Larry at the Middle Tennessee Reef Club frag swap in April of 2012, he was sending out a couple of boxes a week. Now it takes 2 FedEx trucks a day to cover his shipments to over 450 local fish stores, including places as far away as Singapore. He's also expanded his product line to include Herbivore Frenzy, Fish Frenzy, Fertility Frenzy, aka Who's Your Daddy blend, Nano for you nano tank people, and Chunky for you predator tank folks. Now he's even distributing other foods such as PE mysis, Reef nutrition products, Coral Frenzy coral food, and mastic food. How did he get that kind of growth? He listened to his customers.
One of the things I did in the beginning was go to people that had a lot of experience, put the food in their hands and said, how would you make this better? So we networked with people in public aquaria, people in aquaculture, local fish store owners. We asked them what they would like in a food if they couldn't find it now commercially available. And the blends were really tweaked to be where they are now, which I think is just one of the hottest products out there and also one of the most nutritious and diverse.
The scientific community also got wind of Larry's food and started using it in prominent breeding programs, including the University of Florida's Tropical Aquaculture Lab. The Tropical Aquaculture Lab at the University of Florida was the first program to successfully raise the hippo tang in captivity. LRS Foods have also been named in almost a dozen captive breeding programs that Larry lists all on his website. While parts of the saltwater tank hobby are far from transparent, a big reason I keep using Larry's food is that he is transparent about everything. All ingredients are listed down on the labels, and lab-certified nutritional analysis are available on his website for anyone to see. Since I was on hand at LRS, I challenged Larry to show me just how transparent everything is.
There you go, Mark. So this is a sack of 100 cherrystone clams, and you can see right where the harvest area was and the date that they were harvested.
This is the actual date they came out of the ocean.
Correct.
And you know where they came out of the ocean as well.
Yeah, there's a harvest area listed on here.
This is transparent. You can trace it all the way back. You know.
Correct. So
you can't even get that in a lot of food stuff. We can't trace where our cow came off the ranch. We just know it came out of a ranch.
Well, there's a lot of changing with the Food Safety Modernization Act. For the first time in 70 years, the FDA is really getting involved with pet foods. We've been inspected already. So there's a lot of...
The FDA came here and looked
Yeah,
at
they
your
came
place?
here January 2nd. I even put it on Facebook. It was interesting. So...
you passed, right?
Oh yeah, we passed.
Okay.
So there's really a lot of oversight now, and there's a lot of regulatory control. Pet foods are really getting a lot of scrutiny. So things like inventory management, temperature storage logs. Our freezer has an Apex-like controller in a walk-in box that has a data log for the day, week, and year. So the FDA can call me and ask for a report showing the temperature at negative 20 degrees for the past 12 months, and I can give that to them on demand. So the same thing with the labeling, the lot numbers, there's a lot of things. So this is really getting a lot of pressure to be compliant, but it's a good thing. It makes the product stand out.
Larry, this is clearly not a basement operation. This is a full facility.
Correct. We produce a lot of food here each week. My wife is production manager. She's been doing that for 3 years. She has a very tight ship, and she's awesome at what she does.
Your wife?
My wife.
All right, I got to meet her. She's in charge.
All right, let's go.
Veronica.
Hi.
First question on my mind. The day you come home, Larry's making fish food on your kitchen table. What did you say?
Oh, babe, you got to take it out of my kitchen, please. Just take it out of my kitchen. It stunk.
And now you're in here,
Now we're
out of
in
the kitchen.
Out of the kitchen, in the shop. I finally had to kick Larry out. You know,
He's gone.
He's gone.
This is your domain.
This is my domain, and you know, I love it. I wouldn't trade it for the world. It is the most fun I think I've ever had, the best job I've ever had. So it's working side by side with Larry, which is unbelievable. But you know what? He's a true companion. So.
And you're making the food.
And I'm making the food, yes.
Okay, so these look like raw ingredients. Walk me through each of these.
So, you know, we get the fresh shrimp in, and we hand peel.
Hand peel.
Hand peel. We sit here, me and a couple other employees, and we hand peel each one of these so that we get just the meat.
Yeah, none of the tails.
None of the tails, none of the heads. That's the fun part about it. I mean, I find it fun. Not everybody else would, but it's the quality. You know, we want to make sure everything gets done perfectly. So the scallops, the fresh perch, we get clams. You know, we shuck these
by hand.
By hand. We shuck these by hand just to get the meat. And then the oysters, and then we have the fish eggs, which we take our time. We scrape it from the sack.
You scrape. You don't just chunk it in there again.
I don't just chunk it in there. I want it, you know, it's all about being, you know, careful with everything that we do in the shop.
I feel like this is something that we would do at a five-star restaurant for humans, and this is fish food.
Right, exactly. Well, to tell you the truth, I mean, this kind of seafood that we have, you can eat. It's that fresh. It's that good.
Have you ever eaten it?
When I peel some of these, and as nice as they look, I keep some off to the side to have it on a barbecue later. So yes, I have. And then the blackworms. We get the blackworms in, live blackworms, as you see them wiggling around. Yeah. Some people probably would find that really disgusting and gross, but not me. I don't find it disgusting and gross because Fish Frenzy is becoming so popular because of these two main ingredients that we put in there. We take our time to add that in there so the finicky fish will eat.
But there's one big component, because Larry was talking about the PE mysis stuff.
Oh yeah, we get slabs of PE mysis that we can add to our frozen fish food, which we're really proud about that because we're allowed to say that even on our pack, and we actually get this from Canada.
So you guys are going through a lot of food, which makes it fresh, and you're taking the time to peel it, make sure that you have really good quality control, because I'm not going to find a random fish in there because you're doing it by hand, not chunking it in a machine. You
know, that's the great thing about how we take the time to make sure that the quality's there. You know, and I'm proud of that. You know, when I go to, you know, a fish show with Larry, you know, a trade show, I love it when people come up and they just tell me how much they appreciate the quality that we're putting in, you know, the fish food. That our fish are going crazy for it, so it makes me feel good.
Did you ever think that you would be quitting your 9-to-5 job and making fish food?
No, I never in my life did I think I'd be sitting here playing with like blackworms or, you know, roe eggs. I never thought I'd be doing something like this. I mean, who would? Who would think they'd be making something like this?
So you make it and then you package it too and ship it out?
Yeah, we package it too. Yep.
Show me that.
Okay. So this is the shipping area, and I let Larry back in the shop. This is the only other time he gets to come back in the shop. So he's getting ready to do all the shipping. I got to get back to work.
Thanks for showing me around, Veronica.
No problem. Thank you. See ya.
Larry, I got to ask. You got all this attention you've been paying to raw ingredients and how you make the food, and now all this attention to shipping. Why?
Once we process the food and we freeze it, we ship very rapidly. That way we can get the food to the consumer quicker, but we have to maintain the integrity along the supply chain. So we're located adjacent to a dry ice facility. It brings us over 1 ton a month. We have coolers located nearby that are manufactured in North Carolina, which we can get very cost effectively. So all that means that when the customer gets the product home, it's been cared for all the way up to the time it gets to the local fish store.
So dry ice, why not just put an ice pack?
It really doesn't work that well. We can get 5 days transit out of these coolers with dry ice.
5 days?
5 days.
You've tested that?
Yeah, we've shipped to Asia, consistently. We ship to Utah. Generally, we want to do about 4 days, which gets us as far as Texas and a little bit west of that. But it works out great. We have a 100% arrive frozen guarantee for
frozen,
stores.
Like solid?
Solid, yep, or we'll replace the food.
So why is it so bad if the food melts a little bit?
If the food thaws and then gets refrozen, especially by the consumer grade freezer, it's going to slowly expand as it's freezing, and things happen at the cellular level where the food breaks down, and it's not optimal to have it frozen thawed, or vice versa. So we want to make sure that it gets in your hands rock solid.
So it gets to the store frozen, they put it in their freezer, keep it cold.
Correct.
And then you take it home cold, so it stays frozen. It's as intact with all those vitamins and everything that you've been talking to me about. It's as nutritionally complete then you get to feed it to your fish.
Correct. And since we drop ship to over 400 stores, we get it there very, very quickly. So a lot of times a person goes into the fish store after we get their delivery, that food was probably swimming in the ocean 7 to 10 days prior.
That's it.
That's it.
Not months in storage.
Not months in distribution or being tangled up in supply chains. So, you know, as you know, we're turning over a lot of food, so it's getting there very, very fast.
So a fresher food to begin with, fresher process of making the food, and then it stays fresh because it's been frozen this whole time.
And that means a lot for the health of the fish, and also that feeding response that we're known for. I mean, copper bands, regal angels, some of the most difficult species in the world are attentive to our food, and they respond to it, and hence the reason it keeps growing and growing and growing organically.
I mean, my fish go crazy for it, and another reason that I love it is it's so clean. I mean, it's not just garbage in the tank. Other foods that I've fed it, you feed them and you see all the stuff that the fish aren't even eating. It's just getting blown around. It's going to end up as waste.
Yeah, well, as I said before, we started this business not to make a profit. I started it to make the best food for my fish. Fortunately, it's grown into a successful business, but we've stayed true to our form, and we haven't changed any of the ingredients except for improving them. And the processing method has scaled with more employees, but this is still like a small craft brew beer. I mean, it's made by Veronica and our employees, and they know exactly what they're doing, and that lets them pull every single shrimp shell out of that blend.
Well, Larry, keep up the good work. It's great to see it's a success story, because I remember when you first came up to me, I was like, whatever, dude, a frozen fish food, okay, whatever, but it's grown along the way. You've added new lines, new products, you've kept it fresh. I can't say enough about the food.
Yeah, it's been exciting. Like I said, I would have never thought when I got out of law enforcement that it would have grown to this scope and size, but it's been a very pleasurable journey working with my wife.
Well, good. Keep up the good work. Keep the marriage happy. Thanks, man.
Thank you, buddy.